Death. Life and death. I've been thinking about this a lot. And so the most elemental thing that we can do is look at the stars at night. One of. And we know that when the Big Bang happened, I believe it was mainly hydrogen and lithium that was expelled. We are carbon-based life forms. Our life, our living, is predicated upon the death of stars. When a star dies, it releases massive amounts of carbon, amongst other things. And we are made from those atoms. Think about that for a moment. So I started feeling into this, and I started feeling into the times in my life where I wanted to die, where I wanted to commit suicide, where everything around me was literally dying. My friendships were decaying, my bank account was eroding, my businesses were failing. There was death all around me. My ideas, beliefs, everything I thought to be true, this has happened multiple times in my life, just destroyed. Chaos, entropy, decay, death all around me, death of everything, everyone I knew. That's how it felt. And in those times, I allowed myself to feel, and it was really painful. And there was a part of me, the smallest part of me, and this is what gave me hope, and this is why I'm still here today, that said, there's something in this death. There is life in this death. There is such truth to one door closes, another opens. As death unravels itself in our lives, life presents itself. Death, whether it be a transition, a transmutation, an ending, creates the space for spaciousness, openness, opportunity, for life to be birthed in a new way, for us to fertilize a new garden, to nourish ourselves in a way that we haven't before, because we've been blocked by this big thing in our lives that is now dying. When a relationship ends, if we are deeply attached to that relationship, to that person, if we didn't want to end that relationship, and even if we did, and it's the death, there is so much pain in that relationship. And we think, have we made the right decision? Is this what's meant to be happening in my life? I feel so numb. I feel like I'm losing everything. I feel my whole world is collapsing. You lose your job, for example. You lose a loved one. And in that space, we can't see it in those moments because we are in a fight or flight response. We're in a dorsal vagal sympathetic nervous system response. We are on high alert. We are attempting to orientate in the most effective and efficient way possible. We are struggling. We are in adrenaline. We are in cortisol. We are hurting. And before we can get to a ventral vagal parasympathetic nervous system response where we're more regulated, we're feeling safe and nurtured, we have to go through the gauntlet. And in those times, we don't feel that we're open. We don't feel that there's life. We don't feel the possibility of that. We are so in fear. We are so constricted and contracted physiologically and psychologically. But in those times, as we are dying, we are allowing life to be presented. And we don't know what that is. It's a mystery. And I use this analogy of a star literally needs to die for us to be here. And I carry that story and that truth over to the realm of relationships, psychology, self, the relationship to self, the ongoing journey, the ongoing internalized hero's journey with self. And I think, wow, we can't live without death. We literally cannot survive or thrive without death. The old must leave, again, die, transmute, transition, end, if there is some level of finality to that, before the new may be birthed. And I wonder if we could hold on to this idea and ideal and value for all of our lives, particularly when we're in it, when we're fucking in that pain, that suffering, that I don't know where to go from here. If we can hold on to a sliver of that and embody that, embrace that, bring that into our bodies, then what? Can we flicker a smile? May we delve a little deeper into who we are. May we surrender a little more to the death that is unraveling. I think there's two things we need to do, and they have to be done simultaneously. If we too much envision the from death comes life, I think we bypass and ignore the value in the process of dying and all that that entails, all that we learn about ourselves, the richness involved in that. And therefore, whilst we have some level of focus, some level of just knowing, trust that yes, life is about to be rebirthed in the most magnificent, profound of ways, we have to give ourselves permission to fully feel that death. Because if we don't, paradoxically, if we don't feel that death fully, if that death doesn't transpire fully, the life that is birthed, the living that is birthed, will be mediocre. It won't be real. It will be real to an extent, but it won't be full. It won't be whole. It will be quote unquote broken, fractured. It will be disconnected. We will not feel fully connected to it, tethered to it, because we haven't allowed the death of the old to fully transpire. So we must immerse ourselves when death presents. Can we meet it with full surrender? We are so scared of our mortality. But do we ever really die? Do we ever really die? We are so scared of what we know. We are so scared of what's familiar, whether it be a person or an object, our cars, our houses, our schedules, when we wake up, when we go to bed, what we do in between, how we have sex, when we have sex, how we eat, what we eat, our routines. We're so addicted, we have such a stronghold on this. But when change happens and change is inevitable, it's the only guarantee in life. Can we let that shit go? Can we let it go? Can we let it go? And we let it go by feeling it. We let it go by surrendering to it, by accepting it. Not resignation, not apathy or giving up, but saying this has run its course, and as painful as it is to let it go, to release it, to delve into something new, I am choosing to let this go, and I will feel all of it in my body somatically. I will run this through its course and it will die fully. You know how painful it is to watch a loved one? I watched my grandmother in and out of death, in limbo, very sick, bedridden, somewhat conscious, somewhat not, limbo. Part of me was like, I don't want you to suffer anymore. I want you to be either in or out. I want you to be in life and be in life or not. And that's how sometimes life is when we don't let the old die, the old belief system, the old relationship, when we don't feel it, when we avoid it, we numb ourselves with drugs, with TV, with food, with alcohol, with work, with status, with wealth accumulation, with when the come from is to numb and distract, sort of deliberate, healthy distraction. We don't give ourselves the full opportunity to grieve. We have to grieve when we are dying. And I'm talking about the death of an idea, an ideal, a relationship, parts of ourselves, our internal psychology. We have to grieve fully. We can't avoid that. If we avoid that, then the life that is birthed is false and it is built on shaky grounds. So I ask you, can you fully release yourself and surrender to death and know that from death comes life, and be excited about that, but allow yourself to fully die? So that part of your life is over, so you're not on repeat trying to equilibrate it and fix it. You're not trying to heal it. It's done. You've healed, you've grieved, you've felt, you've embodied, you've embraced, you've taken yourself through the gauntlet, and you're done. And now a new life can flourish and grow. A new seed may sprout. And that seed is the next iteration of you in this moment. Power and blessings to you.